going on, ladies and DeGents? We're back. It is UFC 299. We are here to talk the main card. We're here to give out our best bets and picks. I'm Steve Big Bucks Beta, co-host of the Distinguished DeGents, your home for Maryland sports betting picks. And with me, as always, it's the one, the only, he's back. It's Jason Money Mansman. Money Mansman, how's the offseason treating you, dude?
Okay, it's good to be back. Well, maybe the last fight night card didn't go that well, but other than that, enjoying the off season, enjoying those UFC cards. So we back.
Yeah, speaking of that last UFC card, this will be released after this live episode. I had a lot of thoughts and feelings about that main event fight, and you guys will be privy to that knowledge. Like I said, shortly after this episode, we will hopefully have it live, and it's basically a good way of saying it's a 20-minute rant of the accumulation of bullshit that the UFC has produced, and just basically how I'm close to at my breaking point. But I figured if I'm there, Mansman, I wanted you to start with the rage. We had a fighter at UFC 299 miss weight this morning. It was no one in the main card, luckily. However, this was CJ Vergara, weighed in at 127. This is his third weight miss in his sixth UFC appearance.
Yeah, I remember him missing weight the last time. Yeah, bro, I think it's cut time. Three missed weights now and 6 appearances. You can't make the weight, you should be gone. Or at this point, bro, you should be fighting bantamweight. Like 3 missed weights. You remember our friend Mike always used to say that was a matter of professionalism. Ego.
100%. Yeah, you could lose. You could literally break your leg. You could forfeit at the last, but you make weight. Like that was like his biggest pet peeve. You make weight no matter what.
To give a little teaser. Even what's his name? What the hell was that guy's name? Vaziev or whatever.
Gaziv. Shamil Gaziv.
Even Gaziv made weight.
Oh yeah, dickhead who. Yeah, even when he wanted to quit, no, at least he showed up and made weight. But then again, it's heavyweight, literally the most forgiving. Literally, it's, can you not be 265? Could you not be, 266? Because it's the UFC, you get that pound difference. So literally, they're like, can you weigh under 266? Great, you can fight in this division.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what the hell is going on with Dana, and especially with all these times he goes through these periods of spring cleaning and he just cleans the rosters. How did this guy slip through the fucking cracks? 3 weight cuts now, and he's gonna fight on what's arguably one of the biggest UFC pay-per-views of all time. Yeah, or he's not on the pay-per-view, but on the card.
Yeah, this guy should be gone. I hope he gets his doors blown off and then he's caught.
Yeah, and this is only his. He's 3-2 in the UFC, so it's not like he's good. I just don't get it. This is just completely shameful. And the fact that he was the only one too. And the UFC was on a good streak where everybody was making weight. Now this cocksucker had to fucking ruin it.
Not good.
God, all you can do is shake your head. Not good. Last week, I think I forgot to run through my numbers, but I think last week, or not last week, but the last card, I think we went, or I don't even think we did do the handicaps. We just watched the video. We just watched the fights. I don't think we actually handicapped it. So, but yeah, we're back. It's a main card, big pay-per-view, and sucks to suck. I'm not going to be able to watch it, of course, because I had a fucking prior obligation.
Yeah, me too.
This is the third time. It's a Sean O'Malley curse. Every time he's got a pay-per-view, I just know I won't be able to watch it.
I know this is gonna be a great pay-per-view, I feel like too. And yeah, same thing. I'm gonna be out all day, have another obligation, and not gonna be able to watch it.
No, it's freaking awful. But we are here. We do have to give some picks out. Those were our opening remarks. So we do have a really good prelim card though. So I wanted to ask you if you were going to go for the Mansman special here. Was there another fight on the prelim card that interested you? Do you have a best bet that you want to give out to the people? I mean, there's tons to pick from.
A Mansman special women's fight. Come on, you know the Mansman special, and even better too. Ukraine may not be able to win in a war. They may about to be taken over by Russians, but for one night, Ukraine is going to have a win. I'm going with the Iron Lady, Marina Moroz, against the ghost of JoJo Wood. Handicap is simple. I think JoJo Wood, great career. I think she's lost like 4 of her last 5. She is coming off a win, but she's, I think, lost like 3 of her last 4 of her last 5. I think Marina Moroz is better at this stage in her career. I think JoJo Wood is on the way out. And, I think for one night, the Ukrainians, in their little bunkers huddled around the TV, if they have one, they will be able to celebrate a Ukrainian victory. Maybe the last one we'll get this year. Marina Moroz, the Iron Lady. Let's get it.
Wow. Yeah, I was flipping back and forth between these two fights. Off the cuff, I think if you're gonna go with the Manza special, I think you know what's about to come. This is the dubbed Big Buck special. Give me Yalton Almeida on the money line, minus 115 against Curtis Blades. Ooh. No offense to Curtis Blades, but Yalton Almeida decisively handled Derek Lewis and ragdolled him for 25 minutes like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Unanimously wins a fight. Now he's getting Curtis Blades, who was knocked out by Derek Lewis and doesn't have as much of the strength and can't wrestle as good. But we're going to make these guys essentially close to near even, or even better yet, at some books, you could get Almeida as an underdog. And I just think it's absurd. This is clearly wrong guy favored. This is the Big Buck special. When you get the wrong guy favored, when this is a Chewbacca line, you clearly take the dog. Yalton Almeida was the dog, so I'm going with him. You can get him right now on DraftKings, minus 115. You can get him plus 3.5 at minus 165. If you're feeling daring, taking the spreads. But yeah, that one I just thought was a bit asinine to me. I didn't get it. Did you? But I did kind of want to run that by you. I didn't know if there was something I was missing.
I like that. Yeah, I was looking at Almeida. He was a potential sort of for my prelim play. I agree completely. Jolton Almeida, or Jolton as you say it. You know me, I can never pronounce these.
Yalton Almeida, something.
Yeah, I thought the same.
Let me at least spell his name right.
I just thought he might be able to get some takedowns and control the distance, and maybe keep Razor Blades from getting those strikes off. So yeah, I like that one. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot there. I was going to ask you. I was wondering if you were going to wade into it. Ian Cutelaba and Felipe Lins. What are your thoughts on that? I know.
God,
your boy.
So for those who haven't really kept track, every time I bet on Ian Cutelaba, he lets me down. Every time I bet against him, he finishes the guy. This to me, honestly, off the cuff, I wanted to bet Cutelaba, but I've heard a lot of sharps come in on Felipe Lins, especially with Lins as an underdog, so I'm wondering if, this is the kind of fight you just watch, you don't really bet, because, especially, too, that's the fight where, it could be a parlay buster if you have a prelim parlay. And I know a couple people out there, they're gonna like parlay some big favorites and then throw in like one of these fights where it's a pick 'em essentially. This is like
Yeah.
this has parlay buster written all over it. So it's like I think Ian Kutalaba should win, but if I had to bet it, you might as well bet on Felipe Lins, but I don't have a feel one way or the other.
Yeah, I have a feeling Lins is gonna win. I have a feeling he could control where the fight takes place, and then he might get the dub. But yeah, no, it was funny. I saw Kutalaba was fighting, and I like had a little laugh to myself because I know you struggle with Kutalaba.
Yeah, fucking Ian Kutalaba, like he is the bane of my existence as a UFC bettor. I cannot get this guy. And by the way, Felipe Lins too. He's been looking pretty good lately. He beat Marcin Proknia, Oven St. Preux, Maxim Grishin. So I mean, this has like a fight he could win all over. And honestly, maybe you could even make the argument a bit of a step down. But
Kutalaba, couple nice scalps there. Yeah, a couple nice scalps.
Yeah, and Kutalaba was on a losing streak for a while, and then literally the one time I bet him to lose against Tanner fucking Bozer.
Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like I said, bane of my existence. Can't bet this guy. So now I had another pick, and I'll run this by you. It wasn't that fight, but what do you make of Macy the Future Barber minus 200?
Oh yeah, I didn't know about the number. I feel like Barber's the play, but I did not know. I don't know about the number.
Would you bet it on the over? Oh God, that's just dreadful. You could get I know it's Caitlin Sermonera on the name, but it's actually Caitlin Shakugian. What do you think about Shakugian plus 3.5 at minus 165?
Yeah, maybe that's not the worst. I don't know if Barber is going to get a finish. Like, feel like it'll be a decision.
I mean, yeah, it's a women's fight, so like betting it to go to a decision is like, is water wet. Is the sky blue? Is this puppy behind me making as much noise as humanly fucking possible right now? Yes. Although she did beat Amanda Hebus on the ground and pound last fight on ABC, but yeah, prior to that, decision split, decision loss. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, maybe that's the kind of fight you play the points. I'm actually starting to like it more and more. But any final picks you want to throw out there before we get going?
No, I think I feel like I have a better feel for the main card, to be honest with you. I was trying to think, were there any other ones I was close on? Macy Barber, I was close on. Felipe Lins, I was looking at. I'm trying to think. Oh, and of course, we got to bet against CJ Vergara. Fucking.
He was already I mean, the guy he's going up against was a minus 550, so I mean, we'll throw him in a parlay, but it's
yeah, I might do it just out of principle. So
yeah, out of principle. Okay, so actually, you know what? Speaking of, there is one fight I heard about. I wanted to see if you heard anything or if you got a feel. Josh Parisian is a 285 underdog, under 1.5. He's going up against a guy making his UFC debut, 4-0 MMA record. Name is Robles de Spain. He's from Cuba. Literally putting him side by side with John Jones makes him look like he's twice as big.
Jesus.
He is the biggest UFC fighter in history. 6'8".
Fuck. Oh, man.
I didn't know if you heard or saw.
I wanted nothing to do with that fight. I did see that one. My big problem for that one is, like, I don't think of – there's no way I want to bet a guy with 4 pro wins. Although it's Cuba, you don't know. Maybe, the pro records might be skewed. I did not want to, like, bet minus, you're looking minus 350 or whatever for a fucking guy who has 4 pro bouts under his belt. But then at the same time,
Right.
do I want to bet Josh Parisian? Like,
No.
even as an underdog? No. So that was my thinking with that fight.
That's where I was at too, so I'm glad to see we were on the same page there. I think it's time you have a better feel for the main card. I think it's just time we get to it. With that said, let's get this going. It is UFC 299 live in Miami, Florida, Saturday, March 9th. We got a 5-fight main card. Prelims, I think, there's like 9 or 12 or something crazy like that. It's a lot of fights on the prelim. Only a 5-fight main card, though. But it is not short of excitement. To kick it off in the bantamweight division, it is Peter No Mercy Yan, the number 4 ranked bantamweight, going up against number 7th ranked Song Yadong, a.k.a. the Kung Fu Kid. Kung Fu Kid is 21-7-1, 1 no contest. He's a plus 105 underdog. Peter Yan is a 16-5, minus 125 favorite. 8-4 in his UFC career. His last win was against Corey Sandhagen back in 2021. He's gone 1-4 since losing the title. This is his 13th straight fight as a UFC favorite. Song Yadong, he's been 5-2 since 2021, and he's 2-1 as a UFC underdog. I'll defer to you as always with the first fight. So with that said, who is your pick here, and what is your best bet to play?
Yeah, sure. And my best bet of the main card, Song Yadong as an underdog.
Really?
I am fading Peter Yan. He has not been good since he lost the championship. Like you said, you gave the record, and I think Song Yadong could do some damage here. I really like his skills, but I think more of it's just a fade of Peter Yan. Like, I just don't like the trajectory where his career is going. And you know me with the UFC, sometimes I like to do these sort of momentum plays where if somebody feels like they're on the way out, like to me, Peter Yan really, and I've been burned a couple times back in him. Like I have no confidence in him. And to basically be getting a Yadong as an underdog to me looks like wrong fighter favorite. I don't want anything to do with Peter Yan as a favorite, and I really think Yadong could knock his lights out. So we could have a Ukrainian winning and a Russian losing in the same card. Can we actually get a Marina Moroz Peter Yan conversation in the back? Like I really want to see that. Like,
ooh, that could. You're asking for a lot of. That's a lot of danger. In an arena that's already going to be tense, where you're going to be able to cut that tension with a knife.
UFC 300. Do we have any Palestinian? Let's just go to crazy now.
God, I'm actually shocked you went Song Yadong. I actually think this is where Peter Yan finally gets victory again. I'm going Peter Yan here. Now, mind you, this isn't my best bet. This isn't a favorite pick. I love Song Yadong a lot, actually. I think his future is very bright, so I get where you're coming from, where it's like Peter Yan might be out the door. He has lost 4 of his last 5. The problem I have with this one is it's the fighting style. Song Yadong loves to stand on the feet. He loves to kickbox. He loves to stand and bang. Peter Yan, he's known for his wrestling, and I just think that's going to be the X factor here in this fight. Peter Yan can effectively control the ground game, and I just think if he keeps Song Yadong off his feet, if he just keeps his distance, which we all know, by the way, Peter Yan, 8 knockouts under his belt, so it's not like he can't fucking throw too. This just seems like the fight you kind of sort of saw with Sean O'Malley. It was keep him on the ground and wrestle. The only difference is I think he could be more effective. Song Yadong in his last fight, we did see a lot more of his wrestling showcased against Chris Gutierrez. And it was a 50-45 unanimous decision. I just really wasn't that impressed with that win, especially when he was coming off that loss to Corey Sandhagen, basically getting busted the fuck up by him. And Peter Yan beat Corey Sandhagen, so I don't know if it's like a degrees of separation argument that I'm trying to make here, but I just think that this is the get-right fight that Peter Yan sort of needs. And I think for Song Yadong, if he wants a real championship momentum, push. Like, this is the guy he has to beat. So I really love the matchup. And they were supposed to fight previously before Peter Yan, I think, had to step out on injury. So that's why Chris Gutierrez stepped in earlier. But yeah, I'm not completely wiping out Peter Yan, especially too his last couple fights. They were split decision losses. It wasn't like the guy got his ass kicked. It wasn't like it was 100% unanimous all around. The guy's a scrub. It's just he went up against some of the top 5 bantamweight wrestlers ever in the UFC history. I mean, you had Merab Dvalishvili, Aljo Sterling twice, Corey Sandhagen. He knocked out Jose Aldo late in the 5th. We know he had that split with Sean O'Malley. That's a debate whether he won that fight or not. I know a lot of people think he won. So, I mean, it's not like... I don't think he's really out the door at the end of the day, like you put it. So, give me Peter Yan. Give me him one more time. If he loses this, though, then he's got to go. He's got to...
That's bold. That's bold. I think you're still buying relatively high on a sinking stock that has lost a lot of its value.
It's, you know what it is? I think I'm buying the dip. Which if you're like me and you don't really know stocks, it's basically when the stock is like on the downward trend, you basically are predicting you're buying it at its lowest value. I mean, you're getting a Peter Yan who's never been an underdog, and right now he's a damn near pick'em. And I think if he does win this fight against Song Yadong, we're not going to get him at this value again for a while. So I just think that's why it's a decent play. Now, mind you, if it was like a minus 200, I'm not playing this fight whatsoever. But minus 125, I'll flick a chip or two.
Okay. Respect. I got you. I think Yadong, I don't think his takedown D is that horrible. I think if he keeps it on the feet, he could piece Yan up. I do.
I did look that up previously. Song Yadong does have, I think, a 74% takedown defense, but Peter Yan has like 86. And there's only a 1-inch height difference. They have the same reach and leg reach at the same time. So
could be a good fight.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a good fight.
It's going to be a great. So 73% takedown defense for Song Yadong, 85 for Peter Yan. But yeah, they're a lot closely matched. They're a lot more closely matched than we originally thought, or at least for me. But that one's going to be exciting to recap and see. And like I said, I think either fighter could win. Like I said, if it stays on the feet, Song Yadong could rock his fucking lights out. But I just think Peter Yan, he may showcase his wrestling skills, especially if Song Yadong's confident and thinks he can use his wrestling again. That's going to be a massive step up compared to Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
All right. Next, in the over-under, I think it was over-under 2.5, and the over is minus 298. So obviously the decision play is a factor, but if you want to be bold, I would say Peter Yan by submission. I don't have the live odds in front of me, but maybe I'll pull that up for later. Okay. You ready for me to introduce the next fight?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. Another fucking banger. It is Gilbert Durinho Burns, the number is it 4? Yeah, the number 4 ranked welterweight, going up against number 11 Jack Della Maddalena from Australia. He's 16-2. Gilbert Burns 22-6, and Burns is a plus 140 underdog. Jack Della Maddalena is minus 166, undefeated in his UFC career, 7-0. Gilbert Burns is 15-6. He's gone 5-3 since 2020. He lost to Kamaru Usman, Bilal Muhammad, and Khamzat Chimaev. Jack Della, he hasn't had the best resume, but he beat Randy Brown, Basil Hafez, and Kevin Holland most recently. 13 finishes under his belt, 15 for Gilbert Burns, 9 submissions. 5 of his last 8 for Gilbert went to decision. Jack Della is coming off of back-to-back split decisions against Kevin Holland and Hafez. I originally thought this one was wrong guy favored. And then I remembered it's Jack Della Maddalena, and this guy was like a killer. But he has not looked great recently, and once again, I remembered his opponents had to back out on short notice, so he had to and basically end
Yeah.
up fighting other guys at the last second. And basically just sort of had like some slow starts, got caught off guard, lost a round, debatably lost.
I don't remember him being very great against Kevin Holland, if I remember correctly.
Sort of a letdown thing, in my opinion. I get where you're coming from. It's just, yeah, I think everybody expected more out of that fight with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland kind of showcased why he's been around the UFC for a while, in my opinion. Gilbert Burns is like on his second or third like swing as far as like being relevant in the title contention. This one hurts. I really, for the longest time, I wanted to bet Jack Della. I don't like that he's coming off 2 split decisions. I don't like that he barely escaped by a Kevin Holland, who we'll get to later in this episode, by the way. Gilbert, he's had time to rest, and Gilbert coming off of rest versus Gilbert when he's on a spree, 2 different guys. Gilbert's going to be in his hometown of Miami, too, so you know that crowd's going to be electric and cheering for him. And you can even get Gilbert plus 3.5 at minus 120, which I think is my lock of the card. So Gilbert plus 3.5 on DraftKings is what I'm going to play and lock in as my best bet. But I'm flicking a chip. Give me Gilbert Burns here to get the job done.
Yeah, I can't fault you because my first look was, boy, Gilbert Burns is an underdog here. That seems like too good to be true. My only fear, and I mean I hate to say it, but when we did our UFC 298, this handicap came into being. I feel like Gilbert Burns has been through the ringer. Like, he's had a lot of tough fights. That Kamayev fight was a fucking war. I'm just scared, like, JDM hits him on the chin and Gil Burns just goes to sleep. Like, that's my one fear. Like, I agree with you. I think in the numbers play, like, JDM, I'm scared we're going to get another Ian Gary performance where he comes out flat. And I don't know. I feel like Gil Burns has the skills to make you pay for doing that. So Gilbert Burns, I feel like is probably the play.
Do you want to back a Gilbert Burns? Sorry for interrupting. Do you want to back a Gilbert Burns who, like, he got a unanimous loss to a Bilal Muhammad, but was on a pretty decent winning streak where he choked out Neil Magny, beat Jorge Masvidal, went to decision with Hamzat where it was unanimous, but I think you could make an argument he may have been close. I know he did lose. I had him losing 2-1, but debatably so. Yeah. Or do you want to go up and bet JDM excuse me. Do you want to bet JDM whose best bet was his best bet or fight was Kevin Holland and it was a split decision and he came out flat?
Yeah. No, I get you're going with the sort of competition and who's had the better fights. I'm just afraid because we've seen attrition kill these fighters. I mean, that's what I'm just afraid of, the Burns attrition factor. I mean, he's been in a couple battles.
Yeah, and Bilal Muhammad, I mean, he took advantage of a short notice situation with Gilbert Burns. And then Gilbert, I think this is his first fight in like a year. He hasn't fought since May of 2023. So he's had some time off to recover. Yeah. So I think if it was a lot sooner after his last fight, I'd be concerned and probably would back JDM. But I think here you just... And honestly, too, like, if you like JDM, you kind of have to like it to go decision here. Like, decision or knockout, maybe double chance, but decision play for JDM. I like Gilbert, though, and plus 3.5, because I think if it goes to decision, you're looking at a split again. There's just no way. I don't see JDM winning this unanimously. I just don't see Gilbert coming in flat either. It's like, for me, it's Gilbert or nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I gotcha. I tend to agree with you. I don't want to get Ian Garried again. I think you're glitching, by the way. I think you're starting to glitch.
Uh-oh.
I think you're starting to glitch out.
That's not good. That's not good.
You know what you sound like? You know what you sound like if you played the game Portal. The I forgot what the robot's name is. That's what you sound like right now.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I forget the fucker's name too. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll go on my end. We'll keep it going.
Turn your microwave off.
It is off. God
All right.
damn it.
What do we got next? What do we got next?
Sure. It's another welterweight fight. It's the number 13th ranked welterweight. It is Kevin Trailblazer Holland.
Oh, this
going up, making his UFC debut from Bellator. It is MVP Michael Venom Page. MVP's 21-2. Kevin Holland 25-10. 1 no contest. Over under is set at 2.5. Kevin Holland is 12-7 and 1 no contest in the UFC in his career. Most recently, he had victories over Santiago Ponzinibbio, Michael Chiesa, Tim Means, and Alex Pereira. And MVP has beaten the likes of, let's see here, Goiti Yamamuchi, Douglas Lima, Derek Anderson, and Paul Daly in Bellator. This is actually MVP's first fight in over a year since that leg kick knockout he had against Yamamuchi. Kevin Holland, he's 14-1 in his last 5 as a favorite. Kevin Holland has 21 finishes under his belt. MVP has 16. Mansman, I believe it is your go. Are you going with the Bellator debut guy, or are we going with Kevin Holland?
Okay,
Tough fight, but
remind me, what are the odds we're looking at here? What are the odds?
oh, my apologies, I did not give the odds. Kevin Holland is minus 135. Michael Page is now a plus 114.
This is hard. This is an avoid for me. I want to pick Page. I feel like he might be a little. I feel like the upside is there for Page. Like, I feel like his ceiling is higher than Holland. Like, I feel like, let's be honest, Holland, love Holland. He could be interesting, but he's like a UFC gatekeeper. I feel like Venom Page could be better than that. I kind of want to go with Page here, but I don't really know if I want to bet against Holland. Like, this just seems like the type of fight that Kevin Holland finds a way to win. I mean, we've seen this before against these mid-tier guys. Kevin Holland just finds a way to get it done, to stay relevant. This one hurts. This was the toughest one on the main card for me, to tell you the truth, because I really want to go with Page, but UFC debut against a guy like Kevin Holland, who's just a veteran gatekeeper, but not even, he's like a high-level gatekeeper. He's not like the, useless gatekeepers who are middle of the division. Like, Kevin Holland's good. Okay, I got to make a pick. I'll go Page, but I'm not playing it.
Gotcha.
Tough fight, though. Tough fight.
Dog of the card, Michael Venom Page. You have to bet him here. I think you have to bet MVP as a dog here, folks. I just don't like the. Don't get me wrong. I know Kevin Holland's a trash talker. I respect the hell out of him as a UFC fighter. This isn't like a disrespect, but this is a lot like the Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler handicap. I feel like a lot of people are just disrespecting the fact that MVP is coming from Bellator. I think they're disrespecting the fact he had that like bare knuckle fight with Mike Perry where he lost that, where it went to like an overtime situation. But my only concern with MVP and betting him, even as an underdog, his resume is definitely like his resume is not that good. like comparatively speaking, like it's not like he's gone up against real big ex UFC fighters. I mean, Goiti Yamamuchi, I think he was a big one fighter. Douglas Lima was a split decision that he won. By the way, Douglas Lima, the only person to ever knock out MVP. And I'm sure you've seen the video, but it was like a weird leg slip situation where he went to either kick or punch him, and then just got his shit rocked by Douglas Lima. Derek Anderson was a broken nose. So, I mean, you look at a guy like Kevin Holland, who's basically gone through the war of attrition. If he goes in the Hall of Fame for anything, it will be for being the guy who always steps up. The guy who fights literally everybody, win or lose, ass kicked or not. Like, Kevin Holland stepped up on short notice at catchweight and lasted maybe a minute against Khamzat Chimaev.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of guy you're getting with a Kevin Holland. You're getting a guy who's just going to go in there and say, fuck it, I'll give you what I got. Let's see if you could beat me. He doesn't really come across to me as a guy who, like, game plans for certain opponents. He just sticks to what he knows. And I think if you're like Kevin Holland and the way you're trash talking too, you're basically talking down on a guy who is a pro MMA guy who really was a championship contender at one point in Bellator. You're probably going to get your shit rocked too if you really underestimate MVP. And I just think as a dog, you pick MVP. I don't know if I'm like betting the mortgage per se, but what I will say is like out of all the dogs, this is one of them. And
yeah, I am. Oh my god, I am glitching terribly. I'm having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I would I'll pop you out. Why don't you check your video settings? Maybe you have the graphics too high. Maybe you got to lower it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm glitching terribly.
Here.
Let's see.
Stand by, folks. Stand by.
Yeah, terrible. Maybe it's the background. We'll just blur.
That does happen.
I just blurred. Maybe it was the background. It was too pixelated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you look a lot better now.
Okay. Yeah, that might have been it. That was weird.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts? MVP versus Kevin Holland?
No, I think that's good for now.
That's good for now. And I'm going under 2.5 here as well. I actually really, really like Michael Page by knockout, which you can get 4.5 to 1 right now on DraftKings. But even then, under 2.5 is a good one too. Oh, and he's gone. Okay then.
Hello.
All right. Yeah. And he's back.
Okay, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's you. You're glitching.
I'm coming in fine. My stuff is good. Like on my end, it's definitely your end, but I can see you fine now.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. I don't know. All right. What do we got next?
Next up, co-main event. It's Dustin the Diamond Poirier, the number 3 ranked lightweight. He's 29-8, won no contest. He's a plus 170 underdog going up against number 12's Benoit Saint Denis, aka the God of War, hailing from France. He's 5-1 in the UFC. He's a minus 205 favorite. 13-1, won no contest under his belt. Dustin Poirier, he's 21-7, won no contest in the UFC. Former interim lightweight champion Dustin Poirier lost to Gaethje, Oliveira, and Khabib since 2019, but he has 2 wins against Conor McGregor, Max Holloway, Dan Hooker, and Michael Chandler, going all the way back to 2019. Benoit Saint Denis, 5 UFC finishes against Thiago Moises, Matt Favola, Ismail Bonfim, Gabriel Miranda, and Nicholas Stoltz. Last note I have is Dustin Poirier. You are getting him here as an underdog. In his UFC career, he has gone 5-2 as a dog.
The number seems a bit weird, doesn't it? Like, I don't know. Should Poirier be this big of an underdog? Is Saint Denis that good?
That's the question I had too, and I don't think it's one of those things. It's like the Jack Della situation. It's a lot like sort of like the arguments I make in my video. It's like a big up and comer, and the question we have is this guy? Sorry, my freaking other computer's acting up on me. Like, is Benoit Saint Denis that good? I think the better question is he good enough to step up to a guy like Dustin Poirier? Like, is he top 5 ready? And if you think he is, then what's the argument towards what he's done to prove that? Because I really don't know. And the other part of it too is you look at a Dustin Poirier. He's coming off that loss to Justin Gaethje for that BMF title. With that, I think it was that leg kick. Is this a Poirier's old, sort of gone through the attrition argument where he's just been fighting killer after killer? Now he's getting another up and coming killer, and it's like a kill or be killed situation. It is a 5-round main event too, by the way.
Oh, dude.
So, is this going to be? Yeah, and the over-under get this, it's a 5-round fight, but the over-under set at 1.5.
Oh, Jesus. I was going to say, I think if Poirier could survive, he could win it in the late rounds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I guess where do you see this? I just personally think that with Benoit Saint Denis, it's do you get out of the first round with him?
Yeah,
I think Dustin Poirier does. Hard for me to think that.
So maybe the way to bet this one is Saint Denis by knockout round 1 or 2, Poirier by decision.
Yeah, that might be the move. Or just take. I mean, yeah, maybe what you do is you take the Benoit Saint Denis knockout prop in the first round. If it gets out of the first, you just live bet and hedge on Dustin Poirier and leave it at that. Which is probably a bad hedge because there really is no way to middle it. But basically, the argument we're trying to make here, folks, is like Benoit Saint Denis is going to go for the kill in the first round. He's got 5 straight finishes. Poirier's on another level compared to the guys he's gone up against. And no offense, Benoit Saint Denis' best win was Matt Favola. How many of the killers did I just list for fucking Dustin Poirier?
Yeah.
And if you think you're going to choke him out, I know Benoit Saint Denis is wrestling, but if you think you're going to choke him out, ask Michael Chandler what happened to him, and ask, God, why the hell did I lose the name? Son of a bitch. Was it Max Holloway he choked out too?
Oh my God, he's fought so many guys.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. Did he choke out McGregor or did he knock him out? I forgot.
He knocked him out.
So many fights.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at.
Poirier's got some dog in him, though. I like Poirier late rounds, really.
It was the first time he fought Holloway. So the very first time he fought Holloway, he got him in a triangle. So, yeah, like, Dustin Poirier has wrestling skills. He has submissions under his belt. It's not going to be it's not going to be like a give me fucking fight that you're going to get out of here. I just think, I don't know, I'm just not as confident. I think logic dictates we should take Poirier here as a dog, but Benoit Saint Denis, and it's really, do you want to bet Benoit Saint Denis as a minus 205? I don't. I'd rather wait till round 1's over, see where the live odds are at, and if it's closer to even, I may bet him then. But and maybe the play is like just Poirier plus 5.5. I think that would be the move. I just don't know what to make of this. This is, I think, the hardest fight.
Yeah. No, I could see it. I could see it, definitely. But yeah, I think Poirier, if he could survive the early onslaught, I'd go Poirier as a dog here.
Poirier as a dog it is. All right, finally, we're at the main event. The one and only, the champion, the bantamweight champion. It is Sugar Sean O'Malley. He is going up against the number 5 ranked Cheeto Marlon Vera, who was a plus 210 underdog. O'Malley minus 258 favorite. Over under is set at 4.5, with the favorite being over at 4.5. Marlon Vera is, I believe, coming off of a loss, where Sean O'Malley is coming off his victory against, hang on. Forgive me, Cheeto Vera lost to Corey Sandhagen, but he beat Pedro Munoz. Now he gets a championship fight against Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley coming off of his championship-winning victory against Aljamain Sterling, where he knocked him out in the second round. He has 5 wins in a row. He has won no contest against that Pedro Munoz fight. This is, O'Malley Vera number 2. I'll flat out say it. And I know this was like one of the first fights me and you ever got together to watch when you had first moved to Maryland. Sugar Sean, like, at some point, like, people I just think are hating on him. Maybe they just hate the character that he portrays himself to be. Maybe they just hate that, like, this is the one guy that actually did beat Sean O'Malley, which really, he kicked his leg went out, and he couldn't stand on it, and all he could do was defend himself. Which, look, in the UFC, that is a victory. But was he really defeated? No. Not in my opinion. Since then, Sean O'Malley's done nothing but win, debatably so, in some fights, and you could even argue that Aljo fight was stopped early, but he fucking rocked him, knocked him down. And at the end of the day, Sean O'Malley just, like, he's one of the best boxers I've seen in UFC, probably next to Holloway. I maybe debate Holloway's a little better still, and same with Volk, but as far as bantamweight goes, he's like one of the best boxers. He's one of the toughest guys around in the UFC. I'm not saying he's unbeatable, but Marlon Vera is like, basically once he loses this, it's Gatekeeperville for him. I don't know why he got an immediate rematch. I thought maybe Cheeto Vera versus Pedro Munoz would have been smart, but oh wait, he did do that. He beat him. So that's maybe why. So
yeah, and Vera is really the only guy who, even though it was a fluky situation, is the only guy who beat, fucking O'Malley.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that like Cheeto gets the title shot, and I know he's getting a lot of coverage around it, and now they're basically, I hate to say it like this, but they're like literally today in ESPN, all I've seen with Cheeto Vera is how he's doing all of this for his disabled daughter, and it's like, no offense, the guy's had a disabled daughter for years, and now you want to basically admit, like, oh yeah, he has a reason to fight. No, the guy's had a reason to fight for fucking years. You're just trying to fucking play this like Sean O'Malley's a dickhead, and he's kind of a tool, don't get me wrong, but like he's playing into a character that makes him fucking money. Like, I don't fucking blame him one bit. Also, he's a bad motherfucker in the bantamweight, fucking knocking essentially everyone out. Like, why are we gonna pretend that like Cheeto Vera is this real great bantamweight who knows how to fucking stop Sean O'Malley? Like, the only argument I could see for Cheeto is that if you think Sean O'Malley is like a fluke, and I don't know how you could think, like, I don't see it. I don't know how you could think he's a fluke of a fighter, because if you think that, he's had a lot of fucking fluke wins. And and you could debatably say he maybe hasn't fought the best competition, but I mean, he just knocked out Aljo. He beat Peter Yan by decision. I mean, I could go on. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, for me, it's Sean O'Malley is the play. I think there's a reason he's favored. I like Cheeto Vera, but I don't think he's going to win by leg kick again. I think he's going to have to actually fight him. He's going to have to actually wrestle. And Sean O'Malley, like, his wrestling may not be the best, but I know between the two of them striking, I'll take Sean O'Malley 9 out of 10 times. So give me the champ here to retain the title. I know you're about to shit on me, so have at it. It's yours. And uh-oh. There he is.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Am I back? Oh my god.
Yeah, you're back. You're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I won't go too far here. I agree a lot of what you said. I just, again, I'm not a super duper O'Malley guy, to tell you the truth, but he won. He KO'd. He KO'd. Got the KO in his last fight, and I just, yeah, I don't think like Cheeto Vera is championship material. I think this is sort of a mismatch because he got lucky because O'Malley's leg broke the first time. I think O'Malley wins this one fairly straightforwardly. Um, like you said, I'm not really impressed with Vera's record. I don't think he's as good. I think O'Malley's much more dynamic. This was one of the easier. It's not my best bet because it's pretty chalky and it just feels like the sort of suckers handicap. But I think you don't really look too far into this, and you just accept the fact that O'Malley is the more dynamic fighter. And again, Vera, let's be honest, if O'Malley doesn't break his leg the first time, Vera probably loses the first fight, and he's a UFC gatekeeper. So I agree. I'd go with O'Malley here.
Yeah, so O'Malley is the play. We got through all 5 fights. Running it back one more time, we split on Peter Yan versus Song Yadong. We're both taking Gilbert Burns. We're both taking MVP, Michael Venom Page. We're both leaning towards Dustin the Diamond Poirier. And we are both on Sugar Sean O'Malley. Our prelim bets one more time. The Mansman special. Mansman's taking Marina Moroz, minus 238. I'm going with the Big Buck special, the prelim main event. Yalton Almeida, minus 115. Mansman, before we log off, we can go over prop plays. We can go over parlay situations. I have one parlay I did place earlier. It is 7-1. It's MVP, Sean O'Malley, Macy Barber, and Yalton Almeida. 7-1.
Oh, yeah. Felipe Lins, I might look Felipe Lins as like a throw-in play as well.
There you go, folks. Maybe a decent round robin play. Played in 3s. Alrighty. Alright. Anything else before we sign off?
No, apologies. I hope you're not seeing the I don't know, video issues we're having on our end, but no, it should be a great card. I think it's going to be exciting. It's a shame I'm not going to be able to watch it, but I guess when it comes out on ESPN Plus in a few weeks, maybe watch it then.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So I think as far as video goes, like, I mean, you were kind of laggy, but it wasn't nearly as bad on my end. But yeah, sorry about that, folks. Hopefully next video will be better. We'll probably try to get together for a reaction.
Yeah, apologies for the bad quality if it shows up like that.
Gotcha. All right, well, we'll sign off at this point. We gave out our picks. I am Steve Big Bucks Beta.
Money Mansman signing off.
Signing off. As always, folks, and as we say, go win that motherfucking money.